Welcome back to the channel and welcome to this week's crypto news roundup. If you thought last week was busy, this week has been nothing short of explosive. Bitcoin teased the market by pushing toward $113,000 on the back of weaker than expected US jobs data. Ethereum has been caught in the crossfire of ETFs outflows, with billions leaving funds even as the price tries to hold above 4,300. XRP sentiment has gone through the roof, topping the charts as the most positively discussed major coin of the week. Meanwhile, regulators, quantum researchers, and even scammers have all had their say, shaping what could be the most important week of the month so far. And we're only just getting started. Let's set the stage first with a quick rundown of the top 10 coins. Bitcoin is holding between 112 and 113,000, right on the edge of breaking higher. Ethereum sits around 4,300, bruised by outflows, but still fighting. BNB is calm in the high 800s, steady despite scrutiny. XRP is flat, near $2.80, but it's buzzing in the background. Tether anchors at $1. Solana is hovering just above 200, climbing steadily. USD coin is also locked at $1, rebuilding trust with institutions. Dogecoin floats in the mid-20s, waiting for its spark. Cardano sits just under 80 cents, consistent as ever. And Tron holds near 35 cents, showing resilience in the middle of chaos. The biggest headline has to be Bitcoin's push toward 113,000. This wasn't whales pumping or retail hype, it was macro. The US jobs report came in shockingly weak, just 22,000 jobs added in August when markets were braced for well over 100,000. Unemployment ticked up to 4.3%. For Wall Street, that spelled slowdown. For crypto, it spelled opportunity. Rate cuts suddenly looked closer, and that shift lit a fire under Bitcoin. Prices jumped to a one-week high above 112,000 before cooling just shy of that 113 line. It wasn't just a bounce, it was a reminder. Bitcoin is no longer a sideshow. It moves with the global economy now. A payroll report can spark a rally just as easily as a whale order. Analysts are split on what comes next. Some say this is the start of a breakout that could carry into the end of the year. Others warn that until Bitcoin clears 115,000 with conviction, it's just knocking on the door. Either way, the message is clear. Macro matters more than ever. Ethereum's week tells a different story. The price has been hovering near 4,300, down a touch on the week. But the shock came from the ETFs. Ethereum ETFs saw their second biggest outflow since launch, nearly $500 million pulled in just days. For the critics, that's proof institutions aren't sold on Ethereum like they are on Bitcoin. For the optimists, it's just profit-taking after a huge August rally. But here's the twist. While ETFs bleed, on-chain data shows supply on exchanges dropping. Coins are moving to cold wallets and staking contracts. That's classic accumulation. So which matters more? ETFs outflows or on-chain hoarding? The answer will shape whether Ethereum grinds sideways or gears up for the next leg higher. And then there's XRP. On the chart, it's going nowhere, stuck at 280. But under the surface, something big happened. Sentiment tracking firms ranked XRP as the #1 coin for positive community chatter this week, scoring higher than both Bitcoin and Ethereum. That matters because XRP has always been a coin that moves when its community believes. With legal clouds clearing and its ecosystem slowly reopening, XRP has the energy it needs. The chart may not show it yet, but the crowd is restless, and that's often the first spark before a move. Now, let's shift to Solana, because quietly it's been one of the strongest players of the past month. Trading just over 200, Solana has climbed more than 25% since August. Remember, this is the coin people wrote off after FTX collapsed and after endless headlines about outages. Now it's back, with whales accumulating and developers building. Fire Dancer, the upgrade in development, could change the game, promising massive scalability and reliability improvements. Analysts are already watching 250 as the next barrier, and with institutional wallets dipping in, Solana feels like a project reclaiming its spot at the top table. Dogecoin lives in a different world. It's still drifting in the mid-20s, but price has never been the point with Doge. It's about culture. Elon Musk keeps dropping hints, never quite confirming, but always enough to keep the community alive. Dogecoin is the coin of retail, the meme that refuses to die. and history shows that when retail floods back, Doge always has its moment. Right now, it's calm. But that calm can flip into chaos fast. Cardano and Tron are holding steady too. ADA sits just under 80 cents, building at its slow pace. Tron stays around 35 cents, but it carries baggage. Baggage spelled WLFI. World Liberty Financial has been one of the ugliest stories of the week. It collapsed more than 60% from its highs, now clinging to 18 cents. On-chain data showed over 23 million dumped on exchanges, triggering panic. Then came the bombshell. Justin Sun's wallet, holding over 100 million in WLFI, was blacklisted and frozen. A supposedly decentralized project freezing a founder's wallet? That destroyed confidence overnight. For holders, it's carnage. For the market, it's a blunt reminder. Hype without fundamentals ends in fire. And just as WLFI burned, scams lit up again. With Bitcoin back near highs, scammers smell opportunity. Fake wallets, phishing links, rug pulls, even deep fake videos promising giveaways. They're everywhere again. It's the same pattern every cycle. When money flows back in, so do the bad actors. The lesson never changes. Use hardware wallets, double-check links, and never chase anything that looks too good to be true. But the heaviest warning this week came not from scammers, but from science. Researchers at IBM used a 133-qubit quantum computer to crack an elliptic curve cryptographic key. Not Bitcoin's 256-bit standard, not yet. But enough to prove that the quantum threat is real, and it's closer than people thought. For years, it was science fiction. Now it's proof of concept. Bitcoin is safe today, but tomorrow? Without upgrades, who knows? Developers are already working on post-quantum security, but the countdown has started. It's not if, it's when. And that's a thought every long-term investor should keep in the back of their mind. So this was the middle stretch of the week. Solana grinding higher, Dogecoin waiting for its cultural moment, WLFI collapsing in flames, scams rising, and quantum computers sending a chill through the market. A reminder that crypto is never just about price. It's about survival, risk, and constant reinvention. And while all of that played out, a fresh narrative was quietly gathering speed. Runwago, a new SportFi project, announced its token launch for September 18th. At first glance, another run-to-earn gimmick. But this one has partnerships with Garmin and Moon 5 Labs, a capped supply, and staking mechanics designed not to implode. Unlike the fads that flamed out before, this one looks built to last. Its market cap is modest, meaning if adoption sticks, upside could be wild. The question is, will the market give SportFi another chance? Judging by the chatter, plenty of people are ready to roll the dice. Meanwhile, ETFs continue to shape the wider market. Ethereum ETFs saw almost $500 million in outflows this week, rattling sentiment. Bitcoin ETFs, on the other hand, stayed steady, balancing inflows and holding BTC near that 113,000 mark. The difference tells us everything. Bitcoin is the macro hedge, digital gold, the safe institutional bet. Ethereum is the growth play, the riskier upside bet. And that means it swings harder when confidence fades. ETFs bring legitimacy? Yes, but they also bring volatility in plain sight. So what should we watch heading into next week? For Bitcoin, the line in the sand is 115,000. Break it, and the rally has legs. Fail there, and we're back in chop. For Ethereum, it's all about ETFs' flows. Do they stabilize, or does the bleeding continue? For Solana, Fire Dancer updates could light the spark. For XRP, it's whether sentiment finally turns into price action. Regulation remains a wildcard. The Genius Act framework is in place. And now, it's about execution. Visa, MasterCard, and JP Morgan are already testing stablecoin pilots. Any announcement there could send shockwaves through payments. On the macro front, inflation data and central bank chatter will be crucial. Traders want to know if last week's weak jobs number was a one-off or the start of a trend. If it's the latter, rate cuts move closer, and risk assets like crypto could run. And don't forget the wild cards. Runwago's launch could reignite SportFi. WLFI could either find a bottom or vanish into history. Scammers will keep trying their luck as more retail money trickles in. And looming over it all is quantum. Not today's problem, but tomorrow's reckoning. So that's the week. Bitcoin pushing toward 113,000, Ethereum hit with ETFs outflows, XRP leading in sentiment, Solana climbing, Dogecoin biding its time, WLFI collapsing, scams on the rise, quantum creeping closer, and Runwago stepping into the spotlight. Highs, lows, risks, and opportunities all rolled into one. In other words, crypto in its purest form. As we head into next week, here's the bottom line. If you're holding Bitcoin, the next move could define your year. If you're in Ethereum, ETFs will decide whether you're bleeding or bouncing. If you're betting on Solana, Fire Dancer could change the game. If you're in XRP, community sentiment may finally tip the scales. And if you're just watching, this is the kind of market where one headline can change everything overnight. So keep your assets secure, stay sharp, and be ready. Because if this week proved anything, it's that crypto is still the most exciting, unpredictable market in the world. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know which story hit hardest for you. Smash that like, hit follow, and we will see you at the top.